In recent years, an increasing number of travelers and long-term visitors have reported persistent sleep disruption during hotel stays in Malaysia. These complaints are not isolated incidents, nor are they limited to budget accommodations. Even mid-range and newly built hotels frequently expose guests to continuous background noise throughout the night. Common sources include constant air conditioning vibrations, thin interior walls that amplify hallway footsteps, and external traffic noise that continues well past midnight. In many urban areas, road activity remains active at all hours, with motorcycles, delivery trucks, and late-night commuting contributing to an environment that is rarely silent. As Malaysia continues to market itself as a regional hub for digital nomads, retirees, and international professionals, the issue of livability extends beyond price tags and square footage. True comfort is not defined solely by affordability, but by the ability to sleep, recover, and function without constant environmental stress. Sleep disturbance in Malaysian hotels is not merely the result of poor luck or isolated management failures. It is the outcome of structural decisions embedded in building design, urban planning, and cost-driven construction standards. One of the primary factors is architectural acoustics. In many hotels across Malaysia, sound insulation is not treated as a core requirement, but as an optional expense. Walls are often thinner, interior partitions lighter, and door seals less effective than those found in hotels built under stricter noise control standards. As a result, sound travels easily. Footsteps in hallways echo across floors. Doors closing in adjacent rooms are clearly audible. Conversations, phone calls, and television noise frequently penetrate neighboring spaces. Another significant contributor is air conditioning design. Due to Malaysia's hot and humid climate, air conditioning systems operate continuously throughout the night. In many hotels, centralized or older AC units generate constant low-frequency vibrations. Urban layout further compounds the issue. Hotels are often constructed along major roads or commercial corridors where traffic does not fully subside after midnight. Motorcycles, delivery vehicles, and late-night ride services remain active well into early morning hours. The following cases involve well-known international hotel brands and properties marketed as modern, comfortable, and reliable accommodations. These are not anonymous budget inns. They are recognizable hotels located in major urban areas, often recommended to tourists and business travelers. And if anyone from those hotels is watching this, I'm not asking for a scripted apology. Talk to your guests, not just to TripAdvisor. Moxie Kuala Lumpur Chinatown. Located in the historic Chinatown district, this hotel sits directly adjacent to active railway tracks. Train noise is not occasional. It is structural. Late night and early morning train movements generate sharp, penetrating sound waves that pass through windows and walls with little attenuation. Even for guests accustomed to urban environments, the frequency and volume of passing trains make uninterrupted sleep difficult. Despite the hotel's modern design and youthful branding, proximity to rail infrastructure remains a dominant factor in the guest experience. This is not a temporary disturbance. It is a predictable consequence of location. Fairfield by Marriott Chow, Kit, Kuala Lumpur. In the Chow Kit area, sleep disruption originates not from a single source, but from overlapping nighttime activities. Guests have reported loud karaoke music continuing late into the night, often from nearby establishments rather than within the hotel itself. In addition, the surrounding streets are known for frequent illegal motorcycle racing. These races produce sudden bursts of high-decibel engine noise, often occurring after midnight, and repeating intermittently until early morning. Because the noise is irregular and unpredictable, it prevents the body from adapting or entering stable sleep cycles. The issue here is not hotel cleanliness or service quality. It is environmental noise combined with limited nighttime enforcement. Putrajaya Marriott Hotel. Putrajaya is often perceived as a quieter, more controlled administrative city. However, even in this environment, sleep disruption has been linked to prolonged construction activity. In this case, nearby construction work generated persistent daytime and early morning noise over an extended period. For long-stay guests or business travellers, the impact was cumulative. Construction schedules, while temporary in theory, can last months or even years. Hotels operating in developing urban zones may have limited control over such activity, yet the effect on guest rest remains significant. Sheraton, Petaling, Jaya Hotel. This property is located near major highways, serving the Klang Valley region. Here, the primary source of disturbance is constant traffic noise. Unlike intermittent sound, highway noise creates a continuous low-frequency background that persists throughout the night. Such noise is particularly disruptive to deep sleep, even when guests are not fully conscious of waking. High-rise construction and glass-heavy facades may amplify this effect if acoustic insulation is insufficient. Taken together, these cases reveal a consistent pattern. The source of noise varies: railways, nightlife, street racing, construction, highways, but the outcome is the same. Sleep disruption is not accidental. It is the result of location decisions, urban density, enforcement gaps, and architectural trade-offs. Importantly, these hotels are not necessarily failing in service, cleanliness, or branding. They are failing in one fundamental function: providing a reliably quiet environment for rest. For travelers staying 1 or 2 nights, this may be dismissed as inconvenience. For business travelers, remote workers, and long-term guests, it becomes a serious quality of life issue. These examples are not presented to assign blame, but to illustrate reality. Comfort cannot be defined solely by price, brand, or visual design. When sleep disruption becomes routine rather than accidental, its consequences are not evenly distributed. The cost of noisy cities is not paid by everyone equally. Short-term tourists may experience inconvenience, but they leave. Business travelers may endure a few sleepless nights, then move on to their next destination. The real burden falls on those who stay. Long-term guests, remote workers, contract employees, and middle-income residents are the most affected. These groups often choose mid-range hotels or serviced apartments not because they are ideal, but because they are affordable and practical. For remote workers, poor sleep directly impacts productivity. Concentration declines, decision-making slows, errors increase. What appears to be a personal issue becomes an economic one. For business travelers on extended assignments, chronic sleep deprivation affects performance evaluations and career outcomes. Fatigue is rarely listed as a formal complaint, yet it quietly influences results. The persistence of noise-related sleep disruption in urban hotels is not the result of oversight or lack of awareness. It continues because the current system rewards inaction. For property developers, soundproofing is an invisible cost. Acoustic insulation increases construction expenses, but does not significantly improve marketing appeal. Room size, exterior design, and visual amenities are easier to advertise than silence. As a result, noise control is often treated as an optional upgrade rather than a baseline requirement. For hotel operators, addressing noise complaints presents a similar calculation. Structural fixes are expensive, disruptive, and difficult to implement once a building is completed. Offering apologies, partial refunds, or scripted responses is far cheaper than redesigning infrastructure. City authorities face their own constraints. Urban noise is frequently framed as an unavoidable byproduct of economic activity. Traffic, construction, nightlife, and dense development are prioritized for growth and convenience. Review platforms reinforce this cycle. Complaints are acknowledged, apologized for, and archived. Visibility is limited, and long-term patterns remain obscured. As long as occupancy rates remain stable and reputational damage is manageable, there is little incentive to invest in meaningful solutions. This is why the problem persists across brands, locations, and price ranges. Not because solutions are unknown, but because the cost of fixing the problem is higher than the cost of ignoring it. Cities are often evaluated by visible metrics: room prices, infrastructure, connectivity, visual appeal. Sleep is rarely counted. Affordability has been prioritized over livability. Growth has been prioritized over recovery. Visibility has been prioritized over rest. In this equation, noise becomes acceptable collateral. Hotels continue to operate in environments that compromise sleep because demand remains stable. Cities continue to permit nighttime noise because enforcement is costly and inconvenient. Developers continue to minimize acoustic investment because it is rarely rewarded. The result is a system where silence is no longer a baseline expectation, but a premium commodity. Those with higher income can purchase quieter environments. Those without are expected to tolerate disruption as part of affordability. This video wasn't really about hotels. And it wasn't even just about noise. If you've experienced something like this, or if you work in this industry, leave a comment.